Hey there, Sharon Horne-Ellstrom here with Supersize Business. Let's talk about how to leverage data analytics to get better business insight to supersize and grow your business. It's what I do to grow mine. I am a nerd, I admit it, and I love numbers and information and metrics and measuring things and statistics and looking at the information and using that information in order to make better decisions and choices for my business. We've talked about data analytics before, and I guarantee we'll talk about it again this year. But I think in an ever-changing, quickly moving world, it's imperative, meaning really, really important, that we look at and measure the things that are important in our business. I'm a big believer in KPIs, which is key performance indicators. What are the few measures I need to keep my eyes on in order to build and grow and supersize this particular business? And I do the same with my coaching and consulting clients. What are the few things that you need to keep your eye on as you're building and growing and supersizing your business? It isn't everything. When I was growing up in corporate America, I say growing up in corporate America because that is part of where I grew up, as well as having businesses on the side. And we measured a lot of things. We reported on a lot of things. We analyzed a lot of things, and we used very little, if any, of that information to make the business better and to make decisions. It was mostly just reporting up the hierarchical chain so that our bosses could do their monthly and weekly reports, etc. And there wasn't much done with that. And I kind of went on my own little personal mission in several of the organizations I worked with to change that. I'm like, we need to do and measure the data that really matters to our efficiency, our effectiveness, our quality, our customer satisfaction, our customer experience. Those are the things we need to measure. And so we started paying more attention to those things and actually doing things with the data that we collected and collated and graphed and charted and reported on. Couple ways that we can, and I found really helpful when it comes to data analytics, is number one, simplifying the process of how we get information. There's lots of people that will sell you very, very complicated ways to get information. And if you need that level of detail and accuracy and information, sometimes for government reporting purposes or regulatory purposes, we need super duper detailed types of measures. But a lot of the times we don't. A lot of times it's the simple things, and it isn't even maybe the measure of the thing. It's how often do we do the activity that gives us the result that we want, which is a different way of looking at analytics and measuring. But as far as implementing a strategy and making this a strategy to help you grow and build and supersize your business, there's a couple things you want to do. Number one, you want to define what's your objective. What is the result or the information that you really want to get? Once you know that, you can look for different ways of measuring it. And a lot of times there's already solutions. There's already apps. There's so many apps and different tracking and monitoring systems and measuring systems available now that were never available back when I was in corporate America or building my first businesses. That instead of, and I'm gonna recommend this because I have a lot of clients that don't do it this way. Look and see what's out there and what's available first and build on that, or use that as a stopgap to creating your own. I've been working with a client that is creating their own app to do things that are readily available for much, much less money than creating their own app. So that's an example of why that's important in my mind. Invest in the right tools and technology, which is, again, see what's out there first before you reinvent the wheel. Cultivate a data-driven, information-based culture. Make sure people are not saying, well, this is what I think, so we should do it that way, without having any data to back it up or any information or examples or experience to back it up. And finally, remember that we need to be continuously improving this process, just like every other process for our business as we're growing and supersizing, to make sure that we're always leveraging the information that's available, collecting the information we need, and then using that information to make better decisions, to reduce our costs, to improve our efficiency, to give our customers a better customer experience, to make our employees happier in their jobs and in their satisfaction. Can't tell you how many jobs I had early in my career where there was a whole lot of grumbling, sometimes by me as well, about having to do different types of data collecting and different types of reporting based on what we were observing in our departments so that our bosses would know what was going on. And they never really use the information for anything. That's the most frustrating part. I guess I had a boss that made us do what ifs all the time. We'd have to stay up all night like we were in college and work through all these scenarios and the costs and the implications of these scenarios. And never, ever was one implemented in the 5 years I worked for that organization. So that kind of needless activity, and you want to go through those exercises, but every once in a while, you'd like actually to do one of the projects and implement one of the projects, not just do it to try to get your boss a promotion. I know, boy, learned a lot in corporate America, right? About relationships and how things work in different organizations and different types of cultures. All right, love to know your experience. What kind of measures do you use? What kind of data do you collect? Are there some tools that are your favorite? Let's share those with one another so we can help each other grow and build and supersize our businesses. Have an awesome day. I'll, of course, be with you tomorrow.